You think you know George Lucas? Well, here's some things you may not have known about the creator of Star Wars. When George Lucas was in high school, his aspirations were not to be a legendary filmmaker, but instead he strove to become a race car driver. He was enamored with car racing and surrounded himself with the culture. However, tragically, those dreams never came to fruition, as a few days before graduating high school, he was involved in a vicious car accident. While driving, another car slammed into his vehicle at 90 miles per hour. The accident should have left him dead, though fortunately, it did not. After recovering, Lucas decided he would go back to school and eventually branched off into filmmaking. Before seeking film school, Lucas attempted to join the Air Force, as he had too many speeding tickets he accrued from when he aspired to be a race car driver. However, when the Vietnam War broke out, he was drafted by the US Army, but ultimately rejected again, this time due to his diabetes. While Lucas was still early on in his career, one of his mentors was Francis Ford Coppola. Lucas's first job in Hollywood was on Coppola's Finian's Rainbow as a student intern in 1968. Lucas helped Coppola out a year later on the set of The Rain People. Together, Coppola and Lucas formed American Zoetrope, a studio intended to help produce avant-garde films, the first of which was Lucas's own THX 1138. After The Godfather became successful, Coppola urged Lucas to write and direct a movie that would appeal to a more commercial audience. Of this came Lucas's American Graffiti. Even though George Lucas is known the world over for his Hollywood blockbuster series, Star Wars, all of the Star Wars films, with the exception of Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope, are independent films. The only way to make the film was to apply for studio funding. However, as he became extremely wealthy over Star Wars merchandise sales, which he retained in lieu of a director's fee, he no longer needed the studio to fund his works. Instead, episodes 4 and 5, he took out loans and paid them off with the film's earning and merely paid out of pocket for the prequel trilogy. It's no secret that George Lucas is a fan of Japanese filmmaker Akira Kurosawa. So when Kurosawa was in a bit of a career slump, Lucas enlisted the help of Coppola, and both convinced 20th Century Fox to complete funding of Kurosawa's film, Kagemusha, in 1980 when Toho failed to provide enough funding to complete the film. Because of this, Fox received the international distribution credit to the film, and both Coppola and Lucas are listed as executive producers on international copies of the film. Lucas has helped produce over 25 films since 1965, but has only directed 6 films himself, though he keeps promising to return to his roots and make avant-garde films once again. Lucas has been married twice. During his divorce from his first wife, Marcia Griffin, he sold the CGI research division of Industrial Light and Magic in order to pay for the settlement. It was purchased by none other than Steve Jobs. The company was renamed Pixar and a few years later released its first animated film, Toy Story. Lucas owns an enormous 4,700-acre property affectionately named Skywalker Ranch, though only 15 acres are actually built up. Around 200 people work on the ranch, which features 3 restaurants, a vineyard, a baseball field, a 300-seat theater, an observatory, as well as a man-made lake named Lake Ewok. Skywalker Sound is the only headquarters on the property, as the ranch is meant to be a filmmaker's retreat. It's nested right off Lucas Valley Road, which is merely a naming coincidence. In 1991, he established the George Lucas Educational Foundation. Its purpose is to encourage and celebrate innovation in children in kindergarten all the way through the end of high school. It teaches through projects and teamwork and is very personal for Lucas, who after his first marriage had to raise his daughter Amanda by himself for many years. And here's a bonus one. Lucas and his wife Melody Hobson have signed the Giving Pledge. The goal of the organization is to inspire the wealthy people of the world to give away the majority of their fortune to charity or other philanthropic causes over the course of their lifetime or upon their death. The pledge is not a legally binding contract, but a moral commitment made by those who take it. Others who have taken the pledge include Bill and Melinda Gates, Elon Musk, and Mark Zuckerberg. That's it for this episode of You Think You Know Movies. Make sure to subscribe, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and get the latest movie and TV news on ScreenCrush.com.